the one, the only Benzion. Good afternoon and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun with Benzion, and today's daf is Benzion Gittin, daf mem number 40. Yesterday in Benzion we talked about the difference between get shikra of an eved and gittin nashim of women. A very fundamental difference, that when it comes to a woman, the Gemara oftentimes says that ishto kegufo, you have a kinyan not just on her ma'aseh yadayim, not just on her earnings, but also on her body, and therefore you have to separate. That's why you can't be megarish woman with kesef. It has to be specifically through a get shikra. And there's two aspects to writing a get shikra, a gittin nashim. Two aspects to writing a get isha. One is, it says in the pasuk, chasav l'seva krisos. It has to be done l'shma. The ksiva is an important part. According to Rabbi Meir, it's the chasima, it's a signature. According to Elazar, it's the actual ksiva. It has to be done l'shma. It has to be done specifically for her, in her name, to the right woman you're doing it for. That's the ma'aseh ksiva. And then there's a second part of giving to her. And I explained the ma'aseh ksiva of the writing the shtar is it's an actual shtar kinyan, as the Achronim talk about it. It's a shtar kinyan. It's a halachically valid thing that's severing, right, the goof of the isha from you, and the actual nesina biyada, giving in her reshus, right, severs b'reshuso. The two aspects of ownership, the shalo and b'reshuso. So the actual physical object of the get, the ksiva of that get, severs the shalo, and the giving to her severs b'reshuso. However, when it comes to an eved, there's no ownership over the body of the eved. Avadim are like karka. They're like real estate. Real estate, you can never own the goof of real estate. I can never own a field because I can't put a field in my hand, right? Whatever the Gemara says, whatever is in the person's possession, right? It's his. You can put it in your hand, it belongs to you. And you have Bershu, so you have domain over it, also control over it, but it's also shalom. Karkos you can't put in your hand. So therefore the only thing that you can have is Rishus. You could have domain over it. And how does that represent it? By a shtar. A deed to the land. When you want to transfer ownership of a land, you give a shtar to somebody else. And that's the way of showing that you have ownership over it. So to get shichrur by an eved basically is mafkia. It's severing the domain you have over that. But that's why even if we said a mafkir as avda, when you're a mafkir the eved, all you're doing is basically giving up the shalom. But really, you never own the shalom. So, but you're quasi giving up reshuso, right? You're quasi giving up reshuso because someone could take it. It's partially in your domain. You could take it back, but it's really up for grabs. So it's not completely in reshuso. So therefore, you have to start get shikhr in order to finalize it and to remove the reshus that you have over the eved. Now, the Gemara here, Mem Bay says, about 5-6 lines down. Let's go back. The second line. Asisi Ploni Avdi Ben Chorin, also Ben Chorin, Reo Ben Chorin. Any three of these languages, he says, and the Gemara says in a couple lines, Rabbi Yochanan says V'kulan B'shtar. If he writes these languages in a get shecher, he writes either I made this Eved Ben Chorin, or Asui, I'm making a Ben Chorin, or Hareu Ben Chorin. He's freed if you write that in the shtar. Those are valid lashonos for a get shechra. Now, I understand Asui ben Chorin, Haraya ben Chorin, those languages work by Gittin nashim, but I don't think it would work by Gittin nashim to write the word I girashti es ishti. If I write it in a Gittin nashim, girashti es ishti, that's not a language that's effective for a get. The reason it's not effective for a get is because you're just testifying that I did it in the past. The whole point of the Gittin nashim is there's an actual ksiva. It's a shtar kinyan that you have to do something to the writing. That's why the writing has to be done the shma. I said for a get shechra, I don't believe the writing has to be done the shma for the eved. For the isha, it has to be done the shma. But for the eved, it doesn't have to. A get shechra does not have to be done the shma because the ksiva is irrelevant. The ksiva is really just there for the effect, for the totza, right? The desired result is that you have a shtar raya, proof. That's what it is. It's proof. Just like when you sell a field, a shtar is used as proof. So here also is used as proof of the ownership over the eved. It's like a deed of land. Because avadim or hokish karkos, they're like karkos. They're like real estate. So therefore, the fact that I wrote girash Asisi ploni avdi ben chorin. It only works by an eved. It works by an eved because it's a proof. I'm testifying in the shtar that I freed him. That's fine. But I don't have to say Harehu ben chorin. Obviously, at Harehu ben chorin it works. But I don't have to say like when the gufo shall get, the main part of a Gittin Nashim is right. Harayat mutaras l'chol adam. Harayat megureshet. I am now through this document being megarish, through this ksiva and chasima. I'm being megarish you right now through this document, and that's very important by Gittin Nashim. Not so much important by Shechar Avadim. That's why it says Asiti Ploni Avdi. Even that lashon is okay because all it is a raya. It's just a proof that you freed him, and once we can rely on the fact that the document needs to be signed by Adam, so therefore it was signed by Adam. So it's valid proof that you did it, and that's all that's important. It's just a proof. That's all that's important over here. It's just like karkos, just like a shtar matana, and these two cases are equated over here, giving over a field as a gift or giving on erev as a gift. And the Gemara does not talk about Gittin Nashim over here because halachas are different. Hope you enjoyed today's shir. See you on the next one.